getting this? Trevor, come back here.
Trevor, get away from there. Trevor, stop!
What the...
Oh, shit. Sweetie, what are you doing here? Where are your parents?
Hello. I'm Caitlin. What's your name? Do you want to play a game with me? Do you want to...
Back in the mid-1960s, the fledgling TV reporter Bill Bandini ran a 5-episode expose of the Pennhurst State School and Hospital on Philadelphia's TV 10. It painted a picture of neglect and abuse in the Chester County institution that was hard for the regular viewers to stomach. On the flickering monochrome televisions of the time came images of full-grown hands and feet bound by straps to adult-sized crib beds. Inmates of the institution were shown rocking, pacing, and twitching. Many were severely disabled, either mentally or physically, but others were quite lucid and coherent, but withdrawn. When one patient was asked by the interviewer what he would like most in the world if he could have anything he wanted, the sad and withdrawn reply was simply, to get out of Pennhurst. This state-funded school and hospital center was at the heart of the human rights movement that revolutionized the United States' approach to health care for the mentally and physically handicapped. This facility was one of the most striking examples of the maltreatment that was characteristic of such institutions. At one point, papers labeled it the shame of Pennsylvania. The hospital was opened in November of 1908 and closed in the mid to late 1980s. One of the most chilling parts of the documentary, in the footage, it shows a physician describing how he dealt with a particularly vicious bully who had brutalized one of his other inmates. He described on how he asked one of his colleagues which injection he could use to cause the most discomfort to a patient without permanently injuring him. Then he proceeded to administer the injection to the bully. Mental health treatment today is no walk in the park, from insurance companies denying coverage to a lasting stigma to the fact that many of the most severely mentally ill among us to their own devices on the streets or regulated to prison. It's an understatement to say that there's work left to be done, yet the humane history of mental health treatment reminds us of how far we've already come. While terrifying mental health remedies can be traced back to prehistoric times, it's the dawn of the Asylum era in the mid-1700s that marks a period of some of the most inhumane mental health treatments. This is when the asylums themselves became notorious warehouses for the mentally ill. The purpose of the earliest mental health institutions were neither treatment nor cure, but rather the enforced segregation of inmates from society. The mentally ill were considered social deviants or moral misfits suffering divine punishment for some inexcusable transgression. For crying, the nurses beat people with broom handles, and they would also have other patients beat the said patient. They would tie patients' feet and hands down, throwing a sheet over their head, twisting it tightly around their throats so they could not scream, and then they would put them in a bathtub full of cold water. They would hold them under until they became senseless and they gave up hope. Other forms of treatment followed as such as electroconvulsive therapy and also the very barbaric practice of lobotomies. Lobotomies were once used as a way of fixing a person's damaged brain, essentially. They would take out the prefrontal cortex of your brain, and scientists now know that that's essentially where all of your memories are and also your personality. So when you take out a portion of someone's brain, you're essentially destroying who that person once was. As we've now advanced with this type of technology, there still are stigmas surrounded by mental health. The following video was taken out of an asylum also located in the state of Pennsylvania. This just comes to show you this is one of the patients that potentially you could have seen at the Pennhurst Asylum. Mind you, also at this time, people still didn't have a very good understanding of mental health.
A truck. A truck's following us. A truck's following us. A truck's following us. A truck's following us. That guy back there is driving me crazy. Oh God. Oh God, they dropped in. Oh God. Oh, no way, you better stop that truck. No way, you better stop that truck. I'm going for bus! It's gonna kill my motherfucking dog, my dad! I'm gonna kill you!
Brian suffers from mania and schizophrenia. He's been this way since he was 4 years old.
Naturally, as with any such institution with a sordid history of human suffering, violence, and death, Pennhurst is not without its share of ghostly tales. Pennhurst is allegedly so haunted, in fact, that its paranormal presences have spawned a spectral cottage industry, ghost hunting on the grounds of the old asylum. In addition to overseeing the restoration projects at the Pennhurst and operating the Pennhurst Asylum haunted attraction during the Halloween season, Timothy Smith is also president and CEO of the Pennhurst Paranormal Association, using the enticing tagline, "They lived here, died here, and are still here." The organization plans to open up the former hospital to the public for ghost hunts on the campus. With other former institutions turned tourist attractions, such as the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia and the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky, as a business models, Timothy believes that the public's curiosity about Pennhurst spooks makes it a very potential and very profitable paranormal property. The television show Ghost Adventures has also filmed an episode of the Travel Channel program there. The SPRS, or also known as the Shore Paranormal Research Society, based in Ocean County, New Jersey, has trained individuals whose sole purpose is to find the truth behind claims of paranormal activity. According to Jim Mambash, the group's founder and case manager, Pennhurst is rife with such activity. The group has conducted several large-scale investigations of the old asylum's many buildings and documented a variety of evidence of paranormal activity, including photos, videos, recordings of voice phenomenon, personal encounters with spirits. Among the recordings are the sounds of disembodied voices uttering things like, "I'll kill you," "We're upset," and "Why did you come here?" And an unknown male states, "I'm scared." And another invisible female asks simultaneously, "Why won't you just leave?" In the Quaker building, numerous shadows manifest and dissipate at will. These shadows include what appear to be a small female child with long black hair, a hunched-over present with long dangling arms and the upper portion of bodies looking over or around obstacles. Doors and a rocking chair have also been moved without anyone ever being near them. Investigator was shoved from behind hard enough on a stairway to leave a deep red mark on the small of his back. An investigator was scratched on the arm by an unknown object when they were not near anything or close to any walls. Objects being propelled in the basement, such as a pry bar, some sort of brass fixture, and various other unknown objects, and also have gotten multiple EVPs, also known as electric voice phenomenon, and also EMF, electromagnetic fields, throughout the building when there was no electrical supply to any of the portion of the buildings. The psychic medium that was following the group has also felt multiple energies there, including either a demonic force or a past life that wasn't a very nice person. In the Limerick building, the apparition of a woman in an old-style nurse's uniform was observed by a firefighter, police officer, and a Marine. In the Devon building, unknown sounds, and also, like the other buildings, multiple EVPs. In the Mayflower building, shadow people seen multiple times, EVPs captured. Investigators have also been touched in this building. The Tinicum building, multiple EVPs, and investigators has also had their legs touched. The Philadelphia building, loud sounds and voices heard coming from the building. Investigators surrounded the building and entered it via the tunnel system. No one was in the building, nor could they have fled without being observed. In the administration building, multiple voices heard at various times, and EVPs caught what appears to have been a toilet flushing. This building has no running water or bathroom fixtures. Finally, the Hershey building. An investigator heard a female child's voice on the 3rd floor. Hey everybody, I know today's video was definitely a little weird. Usually I like to do one big story and kind of do it in that format, but there were quite literally hundreds if not thousands of stories I found on Reddit, even not just Reddit, even on Facebook comment threads, Instagram pages. It was crazy. All the stories were varying from people that were there on a dare, high school parties, urban explorers, paranormal researchers, even down to people that have been through as customers in the haunted house. Even the actors had experiences. So that's why I kind of figured I would just kind of give a generalized kind of history of the building and all the things that people have seen and experienced. And yeah, so I just wanted to kind of say like, yeah, you know, today's video was definitely not as my normal one. When I'm talking about these bigger buildings, I think it's gonna unfortunately be kind of like this. So if you don't like that, I do apologize. I'll try to do more kind of personal encounters, I guess, if that's what you guys prefer. But let me know in the comments. Anyway, guys, I also wanted to say that I do kind of have like a personal kind of understanding towards these people. I myself have generalized anxiety disorder and major depressive disorder, and like a form of a developmental disorder. I just didn't have a that great of a childhood, so I'm like a really good example is I'm 22 years old, and I'm able to talk to people way better that are older than me and younger than me. I have a really hard time talking to people my age. Also, if you listen to my videos, you'll hear me stutter a lot. You'll hear me make a lot of speaking mistakes, and that's because usually my brain is acting faster than my mouth. So I just need to learn to process what I want to say and then say it. I have a really bad habit of that, but that's just, you know, who I am, and not much I can do to change that, but there's a lot that I can do to help that, right? So anyway, guys, so I just want to say Happy New Year's. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't want you to. I'd like you to, excuse me. And yeah, hope you guys like the content, and it's great to be back. And anyway, guys, most importantly, stay mellow.